Hi Shoaib, how
Hi,
are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Vasif?
Good, good. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think we met last time a year ago. So how are things with you now?
Things are good. Things are moving on. Today, I wanted to invite you to talk about how we can share our experiences for the people who are coming in UK on a skilled worker visa, and what expenses they should consider. Specifically, we will talk about the fixed expenses
Mm-hmm.
that they should keep in mind. And when the current salary threshold for skilled worker visa is now £41,700
Yeah,
almost, and we can also share our experiences or the knowledge that we have in our industry, which is audit and accounting, because we both work in audit firms. So, and usually people on skilled worker visa, they're coming on a audit senior level or an assistant manager level, and the minimum salary threshold is £41,700, which is set by the Home Office for skilled worker visa. And on top of that, you have if you get salary like £45,000 maybe in Reading, and then your starting salary could be £50,000 in if you're working in London for these
yeah,
roles.
yeah. Obviously that is just the premium, non-premium. I think everyone
Yes.
understands that London, obviously you're gonna get higher salary, but it doesn't mean it's higher salary. It comes with attracts higher expenses as well.
Yes, definitely. Because London has a lot of different costs which
Yeah,
people do not think about. Everyone has seen London in Bollywood movies, and they see like big mansions that people are living, going on a student visa and living in a big mansion or something. But that is only like limited to that Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. It's
yeah,
not the
yeah.
reality. That's true.
Reality is totally different. I
Yes.
don't think so. You are gonna get even one third of any room from
Yes.
Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. Yeah,
And also, gross salary, in my view, it's kind of a salary that is reported to Home Office,
yeah,
but the actual salary, in my view, is what you take home.
yes.
So, if if we assume that £41,700 someone is getting paid, what is the monthly salary they will receive, like take home pay?
I think something roughly between 2750 to 2800. Something they're gonna get that take home salary, but then obviously it's not a bad salary if you see, but it depends how you are spending it up.
Yes, and also like depending on how much responsibility you have.
Yes.
So, and just keep in mind, you should not convert this £2,700 multiplied by your local currency and think, okay, I'm gonna get this. There's a lot to consider before you think like what is actually in your hand. So we will talk about the fixed expenses today. So the first and foremost, the biggest expense in UK is your rent. So share your experience about Reading, and I'll share my experience about London.
Yeah, when I came back in 2022, so first and foremost thing before going, how much rent I paid. It's very difficult to find anything. Accommodations are very hard to get for a new person. You need to have references, or at least you need to have some uh, deposit money sitting in your account before you go and find any rental accommodation, especially if you're coming with a family.
It's about 5 weeks rent
Yeah,
that you need to put as a deposit.
yeah. If you want to have a full apartment or go for a house, so minimum reasonable house, two bedroom, a single washroom, living room. I think you'll get between 1200 to 1300 pounds a month. But just to keep in mind, this is just the rent. The utilities are not included in it. Then there is a council tax involved in it, and I think that's it. But
Yes. Um, and in so I lived in London for 6 months, but one bed apartment in London would cost you about, so you were talking about two bed apartments, so that is almost one bed studio apartment or one bed apartment price in London currently. So
mm,
it is between 1,300 to £1,500,
mhm.
and that is also in zone 3 to zone 5, where you're commuting about 30 to 40 minutes to your office. Then if you have a family and you're going for a two bed apartment, that would be around £1,700 to £1,900, again in the same zones. And if you're going for a house, that would be above £2,000, again in the same zone. I'm not talking about zone 1, 2, specifically because they're very expensive. They're called city central, and even one bed apartment would cost you more than £2,000 in those zones.
Yeah.
So and then if you have a job in London, you should look for commutable towns, which is there are a lot of different towns where you have direct trains to London. That is, one is Milton Keynes, one is Luton and Dunstable. So you have Colchester, you have Southend-on-Sea, you have some areas on Kent. So London is central, and there is a lot of commutable options there. Sometimes when we're coming from like a place where we were walking to the office or driving to the office, so you have to like forget all about that. You cannot drive into London. It's not realistic. There's a lot of charges, and you won't get parking. So you have to definitely decide that how much you can afford, like whether you can afford rent or whether you can commute. So if you go out of a town, then you have your travel cost, which would increase. If you live in London, your travel cost would decrease. So it's kind of a give and take relationship there, kind of an inverse relationship. But overall, you might save a bit more when you live outside of London, because and it depends also now everyone is asking to come back to office as well. How often do you go to office currently?
I go about 2 times a week, but it depends which grade you are. Like I do most of the client coverage there. I go to the client sites. But if you are coming as a senior or as an assistant manager, so ask with me 5 times a week, or you are always present on the clients. But that is different for the senior level positions here.
Yes, and initially I think when you come to a new job, you have to prove yourself, and people are not trusting you. So to build that
Yes,
real trust and know people, you might have to come more in office at that time.
especially in first 2 years, because UK is not like, if you're especially coming from Pakistan, it's not like that. You really have to make your things work with the people and you're working with so many teams here. uh, it's always advisable, at least for the first 2 years, be present in the office if you really want to get your things moving here in UK. I just want to add here, I think for, like you are saying, for the London, and you people can commute from the nearby towns, so it's easier. But if you are coming outside of London, like you're living in Reading, and you want to go to the nearby towns in the Reading, that's a bit difficult, because uh, the transportation is not very good outside of London. You won't find the subways, you won't find normal cheaper trains there, and you cannot just go for the car because you have to go for a license first. So I think London, you can live in the city center if you want to, if you really want to, or you can just come into the nearby towns. But in the smaller towns, if you are working there, always advisable to live near the city, in your town center,
Okay.
and don't go far away places. It's gonna be very difficult.
So let's come back to that. Now we had that 2,780 pounds,
Yeah,
like starting position. So you deduct maybe minimum £1,200 from that. So you're left with about 1,500 or £1,600 after that. The second fixed expense, which you will definitely have to pay, would be council tax.
that's for
So
sure. Yeah.
council tax, people who don't know, in UK, in whatever area you live in, there is a council, and council has a different taxation than whatever you pay, whatever is deducted from your salary. So this is tax you pay on the salary on which already tax is paid. Right? So it's kind of a
And
circular
it's
tax.
not a fixed one. So every particular zone has a different council tax.
And also the bands.
Yeah, the bands, because the expensive the house, as per the council, the higher the council tax.
Yes. So, and on average, how much is council tax in Reading for one bed apartment?
So when I recently, when I first moved to the Reading, so I went to the I think I was living in I think it goes from zone A to zone B. Zone A is the cheapest one. So I was living in the band A. And band A, it started in 2022 from £130, and when I left the place, it was 155 pounds.
Yes, so and council tax is also increasing on a yearly basis because councils are struggling to meet their expenses and they're increasing these council taxes quite rapidly. When I was living in London, so London on average I was paying around 175 pounds per month, and since I moved to Luton again on in Luton as well, it was about 130 pounds to 140 pounds when I was living in one bed apartment. So that is the second fixed expense that would definitely be deducted from your salary.
It's gonna come no matter what.
Yes, so you can't avoid this expense. Rent again, you can save on it. You can negotiate. Okay, which place I'm going to live in. Maybe I'll live in a studio apartment and save some more money. But this council tax, you're on top
Yeah,
of
you
that.
have to pay.
You'll
Yeah.
have to pay. So it would be about let's take 125 pounds on average, right?
Yeah, yeah.
125 pounds, like considering if you're living in a very cheap apartment,
Yes.
right? So that takes you to about 1,400 pounds gone from your salary on first day. Then you're left with about 1,400 pounds or so. Because for your job, it's mandatory to travel. So what would be your travel cost? Like in Reading, if you live near the office, how much it would cost you?
I think so. That's what I was trying to tell. That if you are living near the town center or you're living near your office, travel cost is almost zero.
And most of
In
the
towns
offices
like Reading,
most of the offices are located in
in
the
the
city
town
center.
center, yeah, in the city center or in the like Reading is a town, so it's town center. And if I remember, I have seen Bristol and Birmingham offices. They are in their city centers as well. So travel cost is almost zero for it, but I don't think so for London that is the case.
Yes, for London, unfortunately. So if you're living in London, considering zone 3 and onwards, then you will have kind of a monthly cost of about 200 pounds to travel to work if you're traveling, assuming you're traveling four times a week. There is a lot of commuting options. You can travel by bus, you can take subways, there's district line, so there's lots and lots of trains there. And they have a monthly cap as well because people who live in London, they get this advantage, they have a monthly cap. So it is cheaper if you're living in London and traveling within London. But then the other thing, you're paying higher rents. If you move out of London, then on average, you pay for train on peak hours, you pay about ranging between 35 pounds to 45 pounds. Then if you're parking on the train station, you're paying 10 pounds extra for that. So for journey on peak hours, which is I'm talking about peak hours if you need to reach to the office 9 a.m. So that would be
I think
around
between
45 pounds.
yeah.
45 pounds per day.
It depends where you are traveling from. Like Reading is hardly 22 minutes to Paddington Station, but in the morning it costs you 75 pounds.
Oh, on
But
peak hours.
return ticket.
Yes, peak hour return ticket.
Yes.
And then people who have been with their work a bit long, they can negotiate with their managers, be a bit more flexible. Then there is the second layer of this travel cost, which is off-peak travel. Off-peak starts from 9:15 a.m. to almost 10 a.m. So
Yeah.
in that time, say for example, when I travel from Luton and Dunstable, that is reduced to 21 pounds from 35 pounds. And then the third layer is super off peak, which is after 10 a.m. and if you have a travel card.
Yeah.
So that would be around 13 pounds. So there is a huge difference of when you are going to the office. So maybe if you just talk to a person who just travels off peak and you take advice from him, you might think that I have a lot of money, but when you have to travel on peak times, then it's very expensive. So we've talked about rent, we've talked about council tax, we've talked about our travel cost. Now let's talk about, I think, the another important cost which would get you by day to day. That is utilities. Utilities, we're talking about electricity, gas, internet,
Yeah.
mobile phones,
Yeah.
like mobile data. So four. Any other utilities?
I don't think so. I think these are the basic one, but if you want to go more,
Yes.
it depends.
Okay. Just so £1,400. On top of that, if you add on average travel expenses,
200.
250, I would say,
Yeah.
because everything is getting expensive. So it takes you to £1,650. So you're left with about £1,150, right?
Yeah.
So if my
Give and
math
take,
is
yes.
yes, about £1,150 you're left with. Now you have utilities, and let's talk about your different options in utilities.
Yeah. So there are different suppliers. Like in UK, it's not like if you're coming from Pakistan only, you're getting the electricity
Wabda.
from Wabda. You are putting your own solar panels. So that's not the case. So here, electricity I think is central, but then there is you have to choose a supplier.
Yes, there is a big regulator like Wabda,
Yes.
but there is a lot of private suppliers.
So you have to be very wise in choosing those suppliers. I think there is a website from where you can do that.
I think that's you can use compare the market, confused.com, utility
confused.com,
something.
yes,
I think
yes.
there is a website
And
for
that will
utility.
give you the cheapest option in your area. So you just go for it because your electricity and gas will be covered through one supplier. Then you can go for internet. I think for electricity and gas, it costs you roughly £100 a month, because it's not that they are gonna charge you on the actual basis, but more of budgeted figure. And then after I think 3 or 6 months, they do the actual numbers and then deduct it against the budget. So either you get a refund or you have to pay more. It depends upon their cycle. It's quarterly or after 6 months.
And also in electricity and gas, there is two options. You can do that prepayment,
Yes.
or you can have a kind of a direct debit on a monthly basis. So which is metered consumption. So like in Pakistan, you have that they will check your meter and they will bill you, but there would be a
I think
monthly
mostly it's
amount would
metered
get deducted.
consumption instead of paying upfront. But there are, I think, flats where people are doing the upfront payments as well.
Yeah, there's so they're bringing a lot of those smart meters where you can
Yes.
like a mobile, you can top up your electricity and then you can see in the app like how much electricity you're consuming. But again, I think the cost is the same. Maybe your smart meters would cost you less because you're being more cautious. You know how much money you have put in, you know how much money is spent. But when you are on metered billing, it's sometimes difficult. Like you don't. Sometimes you probably miss that, like that monitoring system. So 100 for 100
Give
for
and take
gas and electricity, then
140 for internet,
40 for internet,
at least 40
for good internet.
for good internet.
Like if you want to work
Otherwise-
from home.
Yes. Now you have to be very much clear about it if you, because you are gonna work from home and mostly it's VPN that you have connected it. If you don't have a good supplier, it's always gonna get held and your calls will be stuck. You cannot access your server and your life will be miserable. At least don't do that for the
Then
first
you'll
two,
have to
3
go
years.
to the office.
Yes.
But we're talking about this specific profession that we work in. Maybe your profession does not have that option of working from home.
I think
then
once
you
if
probably need to.
80-90% professions are, unless until you are doing a physical or
Yes.
a sales type of a service, every profession is
Like one day minimum, you can probably.
they are shifting to the hybrid there. So internet is very, very important.
Yes, and there is a lot of like again types premium internet like fiber internet. I think fiber optic is the best. You should get that if you want to again have your life from like work from home and be comfortable about it.
Yeah.
Then so we've talked about electricity, gas, internet. We have water bill as well. In Pakistan, people take it for granted and they think like water is very cheap utility and they use it a lot and water bill is very cheap always. But here it's a different scenario. It's almost £50, I would say, for water as well, give and take. Like you probably pay for that.
Anything we have missed?
So that's for utilities. So we can take out another £150 or £200.
£200, yes.
We've forgotten about mobile. So mobile data. So you have.
I think it will be £10-15 a month, not more than that.
Yes, if you go for limited.
Yeah, limited. Yeah.
limited internet. If you go for unlimited, I think I've experienced about 25 to 30
Yeah,
pounds.
25 to 30,
Yes.
it's about double.
Yes.
So it depends what type of your usage is.
Yes. So it would take you from, we were at 1650, so you add around 250 more for
250
about
more,
five
yeah, about
utilities. So
1900, I
yes,
think.
1900. So you're left with
8, 900,
eight. Yes.
850, 900, something like that, yeah.
Then the last kind of fixed expense is your groceries, which is kind of a manageable. I would say you can control this.
Yeah, but it depends. Mostly the people or the boys who come from the Pakistan, they don't know how to cook.
Yes.
And if you are gonna buy from outside, I don't think so. I think you'll spend about 600-700 pounds there.
Yes, unless you're sharing with someone.
Yeah.
Like if you have, there's a lot of option like people, only for people who are living alone, that they can search for in the Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of people who deliver, cook food from home and deliver the lunchbox
Yeah,
services.
recently I saw that. It's a
Yes.
very good option.
Yes, so, and that would
Proper
cost you.
desi food
Yes.
and delivered to your home, and I think that's the best option.
And they give around 5 meals a week.
Yeah.
And each meal would cost you between £7 to £10. So that's your 50-60 pounds per week on food. Like if
Yeah.
you're very like if you don't care about the taste, if you don't care about like hygiene, you just want to get food once a day and that's it. And obviously when you're in office, you'll probably go out and eat something. You'll have a coffee, you'll have a tea, you'll eat something. Maybe if you're in London again, you would spend £7 to £10 on lunch. Even if you eat Subway, that costs about £6, and between £6 to £10 depending on how much you can spend. Otherwise, don't eat and then eat in the evening when you have your lunchbox. So
I don't think so that's gonna happen. So I think always be prepared, or at least put aside 10 pounds at least for the lunch.
yeah. So if we talk about people who are just living alone, maybe they get the lunch service, that would cost you around £300 a month.
Yeah.
Because and on top of that, probably when you go eating outside maybe once a week, that's unavoidable. Or if you're just a loner, you don't want to eat them, that's their call. But you would go out, so maybe £100 there, so about £400 on eating and groceries.
Yeah. So
2,300 pounds we are.
yeah, I think
almost
you are in the end left with 400-500 pounds. But it depends if you have any hobbies or something.
Yes.
If that is there, or you really want to buy some expensive things, then obviously nothing will be left.
Yes. No, on £500, especially people who are coming from these countries like Pakistan, India, they would have some responsibility to send some money back.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously,
So-
200-300 pounds will be gone there.
Yes. So minimum maybe £150 you would be sending to your family.
Or
And
maybe 150, or it depends upon
yes, it
family
depends.
to family.
So that £500 that you're left with, that is your budget for shopping. You can do your shopping from there. You can send that some of that money home, and then save some of that money. Now, saving is the whole purpose of discussing this. Is saving is very important when you come as an expat in UK, because although you would be saving about this amount, £400, £500 monthly, in long term, every 3 years you would have big expenses to go through. Like when you come to UK, your employer will not pay your IHS cost, which is your
That's very
health
expensive.
surcharge.
Yes.
That is about £3,000 per person. That would be deducted from your salary if you get a loan. Otherwise, you'll have to, and then after 3 years, you'll have to renew that.
For
and then,
another 3 years.
yeah, so then if you have a family, like you as a couple plus a child, that would be £10,000. You should keep in mind that you would be incurring that cost after 3 years, and then when your ILR would be due again. So it's about £20,000 that you should start thinking about saving when you come to UK, over to spend that money just for these mandatory expenses. And then on top of that, whatever you have, that is your entertainment money. Right? Because without that, you can't survive if you don't have those funds.
Yeah, because I have seen some of my colleagues who doesn't spend anything, and they are just
Living by.
they're living by, they are frustrated. Obviously, you need to spend something on yourself. I think, but there are other cases as well. If you are single, I think your rental cost can go down. I think that is the only thing I have seen where people can really save, like going into sharing shared apartments or those kind of stuff. So your rent goes half and half.
Yeah. No, if you're coming alone, I would say even if you live a very lavish life in Pakistan, live in a shared accommodation, live with people, it helps in socializing. First, you
Your
will,
room will be good.
yes, room will be
It will
good.
be good.
People are more respectful. People,
Yeah.
everyone knows how to live in a shared accommodation
Yes.
here. They respect each other. Live in a shared accommodation. And in London and Reading, there's a lot of desi people. Like if you're worried about your like halal food, so you would get those people like around you.
Yes, and I
So
think in terms of the cost, Wasif, it's like if you are buying, if you're getting renting an apartment, it's 1200. If you're sharing a room, it's gonna be maximum
700
600,
pound, and it's
600,
all inclusive.
all inclusive.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, the key on how you can save it. But it depends. If you're coming as a single person, if you're coming with a family, obviously, then you have to bear the
Yes.
expenses.
If you're coming from Pakistan and India and have lived all your life with family who have been affording you,
Yeah.
so even if you were working there and you had your own independent finances, you should start considering thinking about these expenses when you move to UK, because you have to be very financially savvy, knowledgeable about different things. Budget your expenses every month. Remain in your budget. Save something for rainy days, because even one fixed expense we forgot about is traveling back to your country once a year, which would cost you about £1,000. I would say, like if on the peak times you're going on Eid
Yeah,
or
but it's
Diwali.
not just once of £1,000, because my experience is whenever you go to Pakistan, it's, I think, 4,000 is
Yes,
gone together with the
yes,
ticket.
you spend I'm just talking about the fixed cost. Like what is you can't control. Maybe it would be £600 return ticket on off-peak times, and about 800,
And he's
900
talking
pounds.
about a single person
Yes,
there.
single person. And then whatever you spend when you go back home, obviously that's your that you can control, but travel costs you cannot control. So that is another fixed expense that you should save for, because you need that. Even if you don't plan to go every year, you need that money for emergencies, like
Yeah,
wherever
obviously, you need to have
anything can
it
have.
always with you.
Yes. So just closing thoughts. My closing thoughts is always, when you're coming to UK, if you're financially good, save that money, bring to UK, have that as your emergency fund. If you don't have any money and you're coming to UK, you can still survive, but you have to plan your financials very, very effectively to be able to meet all your needs and live a good life.
Yeah, true.
And any closing thoughts from your end?
I think it's more or less the same as you are saying. Putting aside money is very important because UK is not like the Middle Eastern country that you can just pick up your bag and you'll find a cheap ticket and you'll go back home. You have to plan it up here properly. It might look good to you that okay, we are in the UK, but the, everyone here is trapped into into expenses, and you just keep on going into circles and circles. So it's always a good idea, even if it is smaller, just put £50, £100, £150, just keep on putting aside, and that is gonna help you in your emergency situations.
Yes, and also, I think people who came maybe in 90s and early 2000s, they had a lot of opportunities, lots of jobs. Now things have changed.
That time was different.
Yes,
That time
and
was different, and this time is different. And we can talk about it
yes,
sometimes later on about the job market here
yes,
and how things are going, because it's not like that flashy anymore.
yes. Never take your advice from people who are on a different visa than yours. Always reach out to the people who are on the same visa that you're going to get.
Yeah, true,
And
because they have totally different
yes,
scenario and situation, and which visa you are gonna come. If, for example, you want to come on a skilled worker, you are gonna be on a totally different path here.
And also don't ask from a person who's already a citizen here. He's been living here for 20 years.
Yeah,
His
he
life
doesn't
would
care
be,
about anything.
they're like all happy. So just reach out to the people who have recently come, like just before you, maybe a year ago. They
Yeah.
would have the most real picture. Do your own research. Never rely on anyone. Also, like on financially, no one is going to help you because everyone has their own problems.
That is the
So,
truth. Yeah, and don't even ask for it because
Yes.
other person might be in a very bad situation.
Yeah, so everyone is struggling. So they might have different struggles. So just be you're on your own, and best of luck. Reach out. There is ChatGPT. There is Gemini. Do a lot of research. There is a lot of YouTube videos on these things as well. Watch those. Do a proper planning, and that's
yeah,
it.
in case you have any if you think you we can be helpful, just put up the comments there,
Yes, and we can make
we
another
can
video.
we'll try our best to answer your questions as well.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.
Thank you.
And hopefully, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment for us. And we will keep on making more videos to help you build your financial, like live in UK comfortably, and also do some savings. Just remember, it's all what we're doing is we're sharing our experience, and your experience might be different from us.
True. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.